slowly, child is slowly taken. And the violence caused such silence. Who are we? I'm mistaken. But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, what's in your head? In your head.
Let me stop. Before I get to turn it up in here, for real. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? So we got some things to talk about tonight. Because today was slightly insanity. Welcome to YouTube Unfolded. Welcome to T-Pre. Appreciate y'all for being in the building. Double tap the screen and share it out. Welcome to everybody else that's coming in. Please make sure you double tap the stream. So today we're going to have a conversation about mental health and mental health awareness. You know what I'm saying? I mean. Oh, let me see something real quick. They turn this off real quick before I change this scene, because I don't want y'all seeing everything you don't need to see. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So now today, as I was minding my business, tra-la-lying along these YouTube streets, I really had something else planned for today. I did. Hey, Spot'em. But I observed some things as I was traveling around. And someone asked me if I was going to talk about this. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to talk about it. But nah, I'm going to talk about it. Today we watched someone in a manic crisis really crash out. And they thought what they were doing was a win. Now, some symptoms of mania are symptoms of intense delusions of grandeur. Today, I watched a woman display medical records. And this is how I knew the mania had kicked fully in. Because as she was scrolling through all of her doctor notes, I noticed there was a severe uptick in talking to their therapeutic counsel as recently as August 28th. Don't worry about deleting it. Already got it, all the pertinent screenshots. She tried to do this in an attempt to discredit what someone else had said in regards to her not taking medication regularly and what have you, right? Because she wanted to highlight for you what it is that she wanted you to see. Which, I mean, I guess that works on people that aren't really paying attention. But those of us that pay attention saw something way different. We did. There's so many images to open and get right down to the nitty-gritty. And I didn't really want to have to do it, but somebody has to be the one to actually have an honest conversation. Because it's about that time. And I don't give a damn if the girl dislikes me from here. I don't really care if she wants to have a whole fight. We can. I'm gonna click through to where I want to start at, right? Because in that message, in one of the messages, it was that the caller had urgent medical questions about medications that primary care doctor and or specialist prescribed, and triager unable to answer the question. Medicine patch causing local rash or itching. Caller has a medicine question about med not prescribed by primary care or specialist. Requesting a new medication that is not prescribed and is not at pharmacy. Caller wants to use a complementary or alternative medication. Prescription prescribed recently is not as at pharmacy. See, these are things that are indicative to the fact that it's been a little minute since the medication wasn't taken, right? And I know what medicine it is because it's showing in the comprehensive metabolic panel. But what I also did notice was this person tried to devalue another woman by saying that that woman didn't have a clean vagina. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that same woman did a panel, right? Full STD panel on the 30th of June. Let me say something, excuse me. On the 30th of June, that same woman did a full panel for STDs. But on February 12th, that woman did a test for trichomonas, Gardnerella vaginalis, fungus, and yeast. Now, the thing about that test, right? The thing about that test is you have to have symptoms in order for them to do that test. And I want you to understand, look at the dates. See, the panel that was done, the regular standard STD panel, that was in June. That STD business, that trichomonas, that was in February. This person also claims to be celibate, right? So you're taking full STD panels in June, but you had a trichomonas panel in February. My. Sure looks like a mess. Now, why would one take a test for trichomonas vaginalis? What it says. Let me move it over a little bit so you can kind of zoom in. So people take tests for trichomonas vaginalis. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. Let me move it over a little bit more. And again, this is curious to me from a nursing perspective. You may be tested for trichomonas if you have symptoms like unusual vaginal discharge or pain during urination, to screen for the infection, especially if you have a high-risk lifestyle, or to check for reinfection after treatment. Testing is also recommended for pregnant individuals. For those with HIV, as untreated trichomonas can lead to complications like premature birth, low birth weight, or increased risk of transmitting HIV. The symptoms. In order to be tested for trichomonas vaginalis, you have to have a strong smelling or discolored vaginal discharge, genital itching, burning, soreness, or pain during urination. You may also be screened if you have a high-risk lifestyle, such as having recently had sex with a new partner or someone with an STI, if you've had sex without a condom. Now, it's crazy because the person was saying how another woman, cases, how another woman had all these kids and she wasn't shit because she had all these kids and she had kids outside of marriage and blah 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 blah. She was going in. She was going in on the other woman. Talking all underneath her clothes while showing you all the tests that she had done. Gag with me for a moment, will you? Just a moment. On May 8th of 2024, hey, Dr. Pre, she had a HCG beta qualitative test. Does anybody know what the HGC beta qualitative test is? Put one in the chat if you know what that test is. If you don't, it's okay. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Excuse me. I may have to slide this way. Can I zoom in a little bit? Zoom in a little bit, and then let me move it over a little bit. Qualitative beta HGC test is used to determine if you are what? Pregnant. By detecting the absence of the pregnancy hormone human chronic gonadotropin. A positive result indicates the hormone is present, suggesting a pregnancy, while a negative result indicates it's not detected. This type of test is also the basis for the over-the-counter pregnancy test kits, which check for HCG in urine, or can be performed in the lab using blood or urine samples. I'm just saying, real quick, she had a pregnancy test in May of 2024. But gag with me a little more, shall you? See, when she zoomed in on that drug test, what you might have missed if you weren't paying attention and if you are not learning, is she had 2 additional pregnancy tests in February of 2024 and in April 5th of 2024. So you having pregnancy tests every other month. Were there deletions? Or was someone simply fucking while they were out here saying that they were celibate? Were you selling a bit and keeping a bit? I just want to know real quick. See, they also in January had a very intriguing, I know I know. They also in January had a UDS4. Now y'all like, bro, what is a UDS4? Well, a UDS4, oh, let me move this over a little bit. I see it's not fully on screen for y'all. Let me adjust it. A UDS4 is a consistent 24-hour urine panel. It monitors for a lot of things. A lot of things. Hormonal imbalances. To see the concentration, the smell, and the changes of the urine. Now, this is someone that also claims that they don't take a bath, right? They don't take a bath. So is it a stretch to think that, someone is not bathing appropriately, their vagina has a funny discharge, which is why they were tested for the trichomonas in the first place. They're consistently getting panels done for, STDs, but they're telling you that they're celibate. You don't have to lie, but you also don't have to project. Now, I have my own theories and theorems, but I'll keep that to myself. I don't want to go that deep. But These notes in particular are of interest because, again, the medicine is causing local rash or itching. Prescription request for new medication, not a refill. Wants to use complementary or alternative medication. Now, I get it. Medications can be expensive. And a lot of these medications require prior authorizations to be sent by your doctor to the pharmacy. Now, on the notes that she had mentioned, and I'm only saying this because, hey, Venus, hey, boo, I'm only talking to this because she put it out here. Otherwise, I would never have this, so I wouldn't be able to speculate. But let's talk about nursing notes for a moment, shall we? In these nursing notes, what we see is her attestation of what her signs and symptoms are. Veteran's identity verified. Veteran states that she missed. Veteran states. This is not anything that has been tested. This is not anything that has been proven. This is what she states. She stated that she missed 2 days of her medication. This could be a lie. Okay? Veteran complains of fatigue, but no complaint of pain. But later on, she complains about irritation, itchiness from the medication. See, this is the initial conversation when the person first called in. She gives a disposition of self-care. She asks if she should double the dosage. She was instructed to go to the ER, just as someone else had told her to do if the symptoms worsened. The writer answered all of the veterans' questions. So this is not going to the doctor. This was a triage conversation over the phone. So if this is meant to be proof, not to a thinking person. And this was done by a call center because this is also in the notes that were shown. So what I want to understand is, yeah, she really thought she was doing something. What I want to understand is why. Even gave the clinic location, the call center codes. What are we doing? I'm not going to give it because I'm just not, but what are we doing? See, people that are comfortable in the skin that they're in do not ever have the need to tell all of their business on social media. So who really has a dirty vagina and then supposed to challenge to everybody that everybody shared their personal results? Ma'am, how dare you? Right. She gave the names and addresses of all of her healthcare providers, knowing that people already know her name. She literally let people know where she was going to, where her base is, that she goes to the doctor. Like, you're putting a lot of your information out here recklessly to prove a point about what you feel about somebody else's life and style. See, that is in and of itself signs and symptoms of mania. Nigga mania. What are we doing? And I really don't want to drag because, but even in the notes, there was a clinical triage over the phone for mental health on the 3rd. There was a discussion note put in on the 7th, a progress note put in on the 7th, a social work group note put in on the 13th. Secure messaging on the 26th. You made this personal fodder. Right, she doesn't know what she's doing right now because she is manic. And this is why I say somebody needs to do a wellness check. Somebody got to do a wellness check. I don't know her, so I cannot. But somebody needs to. Now, I would drag, I would read down, but I don't like to fight fights that are not fair. But I'm going to tell you what. Stop talking underneath other women's clothes and saying that you're a feminist or you're about women empowerment, because you're not. Hey, Chatty. And the fact that you even had to be tested. Thank God that you didn't have trichomonas. But I would venture a guess that you definitely had a bacteria vaginalis at best, a yeast infection at worst. Your panties were feeling uncomfortable. Your vagina was feeling a little itchy. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this back in frame. Because that just was, it was a really bad look. It was like really a horrendous, horrible, horrible look. Really and truly. But I want to take a look at this lady's video. What does this look on the screen? It's back where it needs to be. Somebody was baking bread, child. How to tell what mania and hypomania really look like. Let's get into it. Let's get into the content. Because based upon what I'm seeing, I am going to, I ain't going to tell nobody how to fight. But I want you to be aware of the signs and symptoms. If you see anybody in your family having a manic episode, you know how to treat or help in a meaningful way. Let's continue. It is textbook.
Figure out is, what does your mania or hypomania look like? If you've never been manic or hypomanic, it's not bipolar disorder. And here's how we define mania using the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. A distinct period of abnormally and persistently elevated, expansive, or irritable mood, along with abnormally and persistently increased activity or energy lasting at least 1 week and present for most of the day, nearly every day, or any duration if you need to go to the hospital. Before we go any further, let's break this down. The key terms.
Wait. Let's go back, because I think that part needs to be heard again.
Here, every day or any duration if you need to go to the hospital. Energy lasting at least 1 week and present for most of the day, nearly every day, or any duration if you need to go to the hospital.
Which, calling the hospital for triage, right? Even telehealth triage, and having complaints of fatigue, that is a sign and symptom of mania. Right. If someone told her stop showing those records, she would have yelled at them. So you made it public. Nobody's doxing you. You made it public.
Before we go any further, let's break this down. The key terms here are abnormally and persistently. So you have mood changes and energy and activity changes that are abnormal. This means it's not happiness that may seem abnormal to you because it's been a while since you were happy. We're talking about happiness or irritability that's way over the top, and people notice it and it looks abnormal. Now, yeah.
You mean like when someone is having a conversation with someone else and said individual decides to have a conversation with oneself in a chat, then makes a diatribe of videos complaining about the fact that someone doesn't want to talk to them because they feel like that person has the inability to shore up their argument because they are abnormally irritated with someone that wasn't having a conversation with them. You mean like someone going around and being abnormally angry because of somebody else's interactions with other people because they won't interact with them? See how that works, Jake? Let's continue.
Yes, abnormal is a relative term, but probably the better way to think of it is it behavior that stands out in a negative way? This might look like
is the behavior that you have seen consistently, especially from said person, especially from someone that would take and share all of their medical history on social media. Is that abnormal? If you find it abnormal, please put a 1 in the chat. If you find it normal, put a 2. Matter of fact, let me put a poll. I know people don't like to actually type in the chat. How do I do that off the phone? Can I do that off the phone? No, I think I have to go to the computer for that one, chat. I think I have to go to the computer for that one, chat. Huh. Hey y'all, the poll is posted, but let's continue. Y'all silly in this chat. Come on, I'm trying to be serious here. Let's continue.
you're planning to run for president, even though you have no political experience whatsoever. Or you're feeling so on top of the world that you're going to end world hunger with this one idea that you just came up with. An irritable example would be you're going to go to Dr. Mark's mental channel and make her know just how much she's pandering to big pharma and custom write a 5-paragraph discourse that you're going to put in the comment section of every single video. Now, all these things
Boy, what is, have you been watching from the clouds? No, she hasn't, because this video is 6 years old. I promise you it is. I'll show you the metadata. I will. How many people you know be mad as hell typing 4-page letters because they want to make you understand that is not normal. That is abnormal psychosis behavior. Because normally, okay, we don't agree. Moving right along. Sending these excessive paragraphs, making excessively long comments in people's their comment section of their videos and their community tabs, making ridiculously long community tab posts. That is abnormal irritation. If you find yourself doing this, you might want to talk to somebody with a PhD or MD that could write a prescription, and then you might want to take it. It is very crazy and emotional behavior. Let them know, Spot them, let them know. Okay, let's continue.
talk about take a lot of energy, but when you have hypomania or mania, you have the energy and the time to do these things. And you may stay up all night or most of the night working on these projects for multiple nights in a row. What does the increased energy?
What did she just say, y'all? Because, I'm an old lady. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I think I'm a handmaid and I'm not sure. All night, multiple nights, burning off this excessive irritable energy. Everyone else is emotional though. Long crazy text though. Wait, they sending emails, texts, telegrams, using carrier pigeons, air smoke signals, child. Yes, all of that. This is abnormal behavior. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. This is coming from Dr. Tracy Marks. Okay? This video is literally 6 years old. Quite literally. Anyway, let's continue.
Or activity look like? It would be more than feeling motivated to go to the gym 4 days in a row and then crashing and not wanting to go anymore. That 4 days that you went to the gym is not evidence of manic behavior. Instead, this might look like spending 4 to 5 hours at the gym every day, and you're 50. If you do that at 20, that might not be abnormal. Or it could be excessive cleaning and organizing. Now, if you have family visiting and you need to spend all week cleaning your house, that doesn't mean you're manic. This would be an excessive and abnormal amount of cleaning that generally has some negative impact on you, like maybe you're not sleeping because of it. Okay, the second part of this criterion is that these mood and energy changes need to last at least 1 week for mania and 4 days for hypomania. Both can last much longer than that, but that's the minimum amount of time. So if you wake up one day and think, I want to be the next president, and then you start researching what you need to do to be able to get this to happen, and then tomorrow you're like, never mind, you didn't have 1 day of mania or hypomania. Hypomania is a constellation of multiple symptoms that last a minimum of the 4 days as defined by the DSM. And that's why I don't support the idea of ultradian version of bipolar disorder, where you have 1 day episodes of mania or depression. I discussed this in a video that I did on rapid cycling bipolar disorder, and I have a link for that in the description. The next part of the criteria is that during this period of the mood and energy and activity changes, that you must have at least 3 of the following 7 symptoms. And if your mood is irritable, then you need at least 4 of the 7 symptoms. And these...
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Because we're about to go there. Get your pens out, get your papers, get your notepads, take notes.
These are things that are a noticeable change from your usual behavior. Inflated self-esteem or grandiosity. This goes back to the example of knowing that you're going to be the next president in 2020, even though you haven't even started to work on getting a following to support you for that endeavor. Decreased need for sleep. This could be going a few days without sleeping at all, or it could be sleeping 2 to 3 hours each night and still feeling rested the next day. And this is different from trying to sleep but having trouble sleeping because you're worried about a deadline that you need to meet, or you're going over your to-do list for the next day. This is losing track of time because you could be up doing things and not even realizing that it's 4 a.m. and you never got in the bed to go to sleep. But then you do, and you sleep a couple of hours, and then you spring back up ready to go for the next day. The operative phrase here is that this is a departure from your usual behavior. So if you're someone who puts in a lot of hours at work or school and you routinely sleep 3 to 4 hours every night, then your poor sleep is not a sign of mania. It's your usual. Number 3, being more talkative than usual or pressure to keep talking. Some people are generally more talkative. In fact, some people with ADHD can be more talkative or have a degree of pressured speech. I did a video comparing ADHD to bipolar disorder, and I'll put a link to that in the description. This kind of pressured speech that we see with mania tends to be more noticeable to other people than it is to you. Your experience may be that you've just got a lot to say and the ideas are flowing. The person listening can experience it as an assault of words. They can feel trapped under just a wall of talking. And this is different from the person who just talks a lot. Usually that person is interruptible. But with mania or hypomania, it's very hard to jump in and interrupt.
Boy, girl. Can I talk? Can I talk? All right, I mean, you just talked for 50,000 hours and I'm just trying to say one sentence. But can I talk? Well, I'm just going to be quiet because you just don't want me to hear. You just don't hear me. You just don't want me to speak. How about talking on live 20 hours over 2 days? Child, I would believe that would be classified as pressure to speak. And again, we're not diagnosing anybody because people have shown their own. We got four. Let me go through. I think I put 1, 2, 3. No, 3. You're right, T-Pre. You're right, T-Pre. You're right. We got 3. 3. Now, 3 already is a manic episode. 4 or more. Hypomania. Anyway, let's continue.
Flight of ideas or subjective experience that your thoughts are racing. As your mania ramps up, it can get to the point where your racing thoughts outpace your ability to keep up with them. And in this case, internally, you experience it as your mind is all over the place and you can barely think. And this is what we refer to as flight of ideas. Your thoughts are just going a mile a minute. And instead of this being a positive experience, that your thoughts are just flowing nicely, it becomes a negative experience that your thoughts are disjointed and all over the place. Distractibility. Here, your attention is too easily drawn to unimportant and irrelevant external things. Increase in goal-directed activity, either socially, work, school, or sexually, or psychomotor agitation. And psychomotor agitation would be purposeless, non-goal-directed activity. Psychomotor agitation can look like pacing, lots of fidgeting when you're sitting, or it can look like getting up to do things but not really doing anything. So someone watching you may see you moving about a lot, in and out of rooms, in and out of the house. And if that person asks you what you're doing, you may not be able to give them a meaningful answer because you're actually not sure what it was you were intending to do.
Like when you see people, when they do put the camera on and they constantly moving around, they need to be touching something, doing something, moving their hair all over the place, touching their face, doing this, that, third, shifting in the chair, shit like that. That's a little bit psychomotor agitation. Okay. Flight of thoughts and distractibility. That's, oh, well, we're talking about this, but I'm going to talk about this because we're talking about this, but I'm going to talk about this. But we're talking about this, but I'm going to talk about this. So now we have added at least a little, two more. Okay, so now we have 5 out of 7 that we have the ocular and the auditory proof for, right? 6. So I'm sorry, 6. Shit, we're 6. Yeah, I didn't check for that last one. My bad. Thank you, T-Pre, keeping me honest. Appreciate you a lot. But I mean, I just like to educate because this is a conversation, like, true indeed. Some people can find humor in this, but I prefer the route of educating my people. All right, let's go.
But there is a subjective experience that you can't feel settled. It's almost like anxiety, but you don't really feel nervous. You just need to move about and do things. Then the last one of the 7 is excessive involvement in activities that have a high potential for painful consequences.
Boy, 7. Check. Now, I'm still gonna let this play out. But this is the most important one to me, right? Excessive involvement in activities that have a high potential for painful consequences. Now, before we let, Dr. Mary do her thing, do her big one. We're talking about when you're involving yourself in physical and emotional situations that are problematic for you, including going to people, places, and things that do not serve you, that do not edify you. If you are consistently doing this, that is a sign and a symptom of mania and hypomania, addiction to humiliation. Losing everything of value to you and not being able to walk away. Don't take my word for it. Let's see what Dr. Mary has to say. She has the PhD after all. And I'm just a chick on YouTube that always thinks I'm right, but just happens to know a lot. Let's continue.
And this would be things like buying sprees, sexual indiscretions, and foolish business investments. So what do we have here? We have an abnormal mood and an abnormal energy level, along with 3 or 4 of these things that I just listed. And with all of these things happening at the same time, it causes severe problems in your social life, your occupational life, your school functioning, or it requires hospitalization to keep you from harming yourself or others. Or you have psychotic features like hallucinations or delusions. A common kind of delusion is called ideas of reference. A person will believe that the radio or television is specifically speaking to them. And it's not that you hear the television say something that it didn't say. You can experience that, but that's different. That's a hallucination where you think you hear something that doesn't exist. With ideas of reference, you're hearing what's really being said and assigning a different meaning to it that lines up with the delusion that you already have.
Bingo. Let's make that highlighted comments in the chat. Ideas of reference. Okay? She threatened me. They talking about me. I'm talking to T-Pre. T-Pre, you know what? And I can't stand when blah, blah, blah. Did you hear what Robbie said? She was talking about me. Knowing good and hell well, if I talk about you, I'm going to be direct, just as direct as this video is right here, right now. Let's continue.
Here's an example. You believe your coworkers are trying to get you fired. And anytime you hear someone say the word projections, you believe that that's a signal that there's a ring of people who are working to get you fired. So saying projections is their covert way of letting you know that your days are numbered. Now, even though you work in a marketing company and the word projections is something that's used in that industry, you can't be convinced that projections is not a code word. That's an example of ideas of reference and a common way that delusions can manifest.
Or because people are friends with somebody, have the idea of reference that their closeness to said individual is diametrically opposed to your existence. That is an idea of reference. Creating attacks in your mind to shore up the perspective that you have landed on, that they're all out to get me, as a sign and symptom of psychosis. You're delusional, and you're out of your mind.
With mania. Hypomania is all of the same that I just said, except the symptoms only need to last 4 days and it doesn't cause the same problems with your functioning. So with hypomania, you still may be able to go to work or school. The symptoms are still noticeable to others though, but it's not as severe. In fact, some people enjoy the hypomania because it's a relief from their depression and they feel better. But you still will look amped up to other people and may be causing a disturbance. But you don't need to go to the hospital. The police are not being called because you're showing up to work naked. And you're not psychotic. If you have psychosis, it's mania. Real mania or hypomania is usually obvious. It's like clear the room level of hype. People can usually feel the energy in the room. Sometimes you may be talking loud and other people think you're angry or yelling, but to you, you're just talking. There's just so much power behind your voice that because of your energy and enthusiasm, it comes off to other people as yelling or sounding agitated. If you have a manic episode, your diagnosis is bipolar 1. If you have hypomania, it's bipolar 2, and you will have recurring episodes of hypomania and depression. But once you have a bipolar 1 diagnosis, it stays that way even if your future episodes are hypomania. So you can have a manic episode this year and then have future episodes that are hypomania. They never rise back to the level of mania. In that case, your diagnosis would remain bipolar 1 and it doesn't change to 2. On the other hand, you could start out with hypomanic episodes and later on down the line become psychotic during one of your hypomanic episodes, and your diagnosis would change from bipolar 2 to bipolar 1. In other words, if you later on develop mania, you would upgrade from 2 to 1, but you never downgrade from bipolar 1 to 2. In the big picture, though, it doesn't matter that much that you don't get downgraded from 1 to 2 if you never have mania again. The treatment or the medication treatment is largely the same. What's different here really is the course of your illness and how much time you spend in the depressed state. People with bipolar 1 can have recurring manic episodes back to back and very few depressed episodes, whereas people with bipolar 2 can have longer and more frequent depressed episodes. I did a video comparing bipolar 1 to bipolar 2 disorder, and you can watch it here, and I'll put a link in the description. And for more information on bipolar disorder, you can watch my bipolar playlist whenever I make new videos on bipolar disorder.
And y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Dr. Mary. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna put her link in the description bar. But I bought this video today because we're adults here. And we can have the grown-up hard conversations, right? Or we should be able to. But you're right, YM. You have to stay on the medications because it gets more difficult to control later. And in all actuality, one of the screen captures that I did grab did show a blood test to make sure that the medication was at the appropriate levels. But because I don't want to put the medication on blast, I'm going to just leave it. But that test was done a while ago. And missing that medication in any capacity can cause a severe drop in the synergistic effect. Yeah, some people know what the fuck they be talking about. Now let me pull up the actual dosage issues. Or an average, damn. Can I take this screenshot? Yeah, I can. I could take this screenshot and then block out the medication. And then give me a moment, gentlemen and ladies. Because it takes a while for this medication to get to the appropriate level to be effective in the first place. Okay, boom. Good. Oh no, let me save that. And you know, this is good because people oftentimes question me. And I really be like, why are you questioning me? But again, people don't read, so it makes sense. Right. We gotta switch to the other screen. Boom. Damn it. Okay. You guys can take a screenshot, but I'll read it to you. Is it showing on the screen right? Well, we'll read through it. For an average person with healthy kidneys, which your kidneys are not healthy if you're taking like multiple. I want to make sure it's fully in screen. So when you take your screenshots, y'all can, have it and blow it up if you need to. Perfect. For an average person with healthy kidneys, blank levels begin to drop significantly after just 1 or 2 missed doses. The same 1 or 2 missed doses that the person showed you in their medical records. The effect of missing doses builds up. So multiple missed doses can lead to a mood relapse. A single missed dose will lower your level because blank has a relatively short half-life. your blood concentration will decrease after missing a dose. Taking a single missed dose within a few hours is often recommended, but never double up on doses. Missing 2 or more doses causes a notable drop. Missing more than 1 dose can cause a patient's serum blank levels to fall below the therapeutic levels. Missing 2 is extremely catastrophic. But again, I ain't gonna talk shit to you. I'm gonna educate you. Because in all things, I am an educator. And I'm going to keep reading to you. I'm not going to show it to you because, missing 2 or more doses causes a notable drop. Missing more than 1 dose can cause a patient's serum level to fall below the usual therapeutic range. This can contribute to a loss of symptom control. Steady state is lost with irregular dosing. The medication is most effective when a constant steady state concentration is maintained in the blood. Skipping doses or taking them at irregular intervals disrupts this balance. If you restart your regimen after missing several doses, it takes about 4 to 5 days to reestablish a steady state level. And several factors can amplify the effect of missing dosage, causing the doses to drop more quickly. These include fluid and electrolyte balance. Dehydration from excessive sweating, diarrhea, vomiting, or illness can alter your medication levels. Low sodium intake. The kidneys handle the medication and sodium similarly. Drastically changing from a high salt to a low salt diet can affect your medication's concentration. Caffeine and alcohol. High caffeine or high alcohol consumption can also affect the medication's levels. Certain drugs, including some diuretics and NSAIDs, can interact with the medication and change its levels. But you should always consult with your healthcare provider, which I am not. But at the end of the day, this has simply been a raw pulse. This is meant to educate, not denigrate. And I don't have to be a savage about it because the reality is life is kicking that individual's behind all by itself. Thank you, I am. All by itself. You're doing it to yourself, fam. Doing it to your whole self. And it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. As I said before, a wellness check needs to be done, or that individual really does need to take a trip to the hospital. And unlike people that sat in this person's chat and egged that shit on like that shit was a good look, it was not a good look. They are not okay. And I do not even like that person. But what is happening with them and to them right now is not okay. They are not well. But everybody likes to watch a good crash out on social media. That being said, fuck it. But at least be aware for the people in your family. Anyway, y'all, we're going to listen to a good little song, and then I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Is it a crime, baby? How I'm sweating you? I ain't a thirsty nigga. I ain't gon' pressure you. She in my DM with a nigga playing peekaboo. Late night, hit a nigga phone, babe, I'm pulling through. Choose me, I'm reputable, I'm in the top spot. Bad bitch, her titties looking good in that crop top. Got her eating lamb chops in the lamb chop. Sock on me, give me what you got, bitch, I love knots. Is it a crime if I pull up to the nigga, bitch? Give her all this game and teach that bitch how to finesse a trick. If so, where the cuffs, nigga, lock me up. You can drive the Maybach or the vet, you got options, huh? If you looking for some game, then I gotta love the bitch on dick. She wanna fuck me cause I'm popular. Interview, she having wild thoughts of me knocking her. Yeah, she all ears and eyes like binoculars. Is it a crime, baby? That I want you, bitch? Can I have you, bitch? Is it a crime if I sweat the bitch? If I take the bitch? Is it a crime, nigga? Let me know some. Is you playing with some bands? Let me hold some. Put you in Chanel running shoes for the road running. Baby, I know that last nigga, he ain't buy you nothing. You could be a pro trophy on the Moolah team. She said she'll step in any weather when it come to me. Putting about the ass, all these niggas like my son to me. I'm tired of these fake, yeah, wannabes. Oh my God, I thank the gods that I'm chosen. She on the dinner date, she finna get 1,000 roses. Baby, come and put it in me, models. Little lad bitch, she ride my dick and cook me tacos. Is it a crime to tell you that I love you, bitch? Remember them days I was broke, now I'm hood rich. You were a good game, good vibes, and some good dick. Brody, keep it player, cause we keep stick. Fair game, I'ma sweat your feet, you can sweat mine. Is it a crime, baby? That I want you, bitch? Can I have you, bitch? Is it a crime if I sweat the bitch? If I take the bitch? Is it a crime, nigga? Let me know something.
Moolah, come get me. This nigga hella bun. I swear to God. Is it a crime that I wanna choose you?
They said she don't like me. Okay. So now what? Said we got problems, so said we was beefing. Oh, about what? Talking about me and
Man, listen, y'all better stop letting everybody think they finna choose you, bitch. Cause see, girls and boys be letting these people play in their fucking face and have them twisted and crashing out on social media, honey. You know, I had to come back and say something else real slick before I got up out of here. I couldn't just let y'all leave with me just being good and nice. I had to say something smart, bitch. But just be out here like,
y'all be so obsessed with your exes. Mine's not even my motherfucking type no more. Like, ew, what the fuck was I thinking about?
like, ew, what the fuck was you thinking about? Stop talking about your ex while you trying to talk about other women, bitch. You look stupid as hell. Anyway, you all, bye.
It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Right now, I'm going to mind my fucking business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my mind your business. 100K or more in my pocket. I need 20K by this week. I need 100K or more. You hear me? In cash. I need 20K by this week. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. I don't live here. I'm chilling. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Clear the way. Clear the way. Clear the way. You hear me? It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Right now, I'm going to mind my fucking business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my business. It's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Tell y'all my mind your business. I need 100K or more in my pocket. I need 20K by this week. I need 100K or more. You hear me? In cash. I need 20K by this week. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. Talk too much. You talk too much. I don't live here. I'm chilling. Sway, this my shit.
Sway, the remix god.
Please come here. Come.